So why are you deep conditioning? Is it because you saw on the internet that person was doing it and she does it once a week and we're just supposed to treat our hair once a week? What even is a deep conditioner? How do I know what I need? Alright everybody, allow me to formally introduce myself. I'm Mel, also known as your main girl Mel, also known as Mains by Mel. And with this channel, I try to bring you guys fun, funny, and informative information all about the hairs. And lately, your questions have been all about deep conditioning. I'm seeing it everywhere. You guys have asked in the comments of my YouTube videos. You have asked in my DMs and in my comments on Instagram. You have questions about deep conditioning. Let's get right into this video because you guys asked and I am here to answer. By the way, this is day 2 here. Oh, and also by the way, outfit details are brand new merch by Mel. What you're looking at here is some of my #1 fan art and then words that I love to live by. The bigger the hair, the harder they stare. Anywho, if you like this t-shirt design, you can get this below. So if you need to, I encourage you to take notes. And without further ado, let's get to it. So what does it take to make the hair happy? Because healthy hair is happy hair and happy hair is a happy you. Our first question is, what exactly is it? What the hell is a deep conditioner? How is it actually different from a regular conditioner or a leave-in conditioner or a mask? What's the difference? And is there a difference? I will inform you that there is in fact a difference between a deep conditioner and just a regular conditioner or even a conditioner that you can leave in. However, the main difference about a leave-in conditioner is that it works deep, as the name suggests, for the hairs that need much more further treatment. They are intensive treatments to work even further on extremely dry and or damaged hair. So just a couple deep conditioners that I like to keep on hand are these guys because they're budget friendly and they are excellent. This one is the Jamaican black castor oil strengthening one. So it has protein in it. It is going to help to strengthen your hair. Great for processed, color treated, damaged hair. And then this one is the Manuka honey and Mafura oil, which is more on the deep moisture treatment. So I switch it up. I use accordingly depending on what my hair is asking me for. So if what you're asking is if you can use a regular conditioner instead of a deep conditioner to deeply condition, and I know you are asking that because right here you did, the answer would be, maybe. I'm not gonna lie, sometimes I just use my regular conditioner and leave it in for a longer extended period of time while I'm doing other things, just to give my hair a little bit more hydration. But I do that if I don't really need a whole ton of extra conditioning. Again, keep in mind that deep conditioners work deep and they are intense. And if you don't really need intensive treatment, then leave your regular conditioner on a little bit. However, it is not quite the same as deeply treating your hair with a deep conditioner, simply because they are 2 different types of products offering you 2 different types of things. Which leads me into my next question. A lot of you wonder, how often should I be deep conditioning my curls? Well, what are you asking me for? I can't tell you that. I cannot tell you that because I don't have your hair. I can't see your hair. I can't diagnose a treatment for you if I don't know what your hair type is like. So this is when we're all going to step back and evaluate our own hair's needs. And I'm also going to pause and plug my protein versus moisture video, how to determine what your hair needs based on how it's looking and feeling, and then regularly assessing your hair to determine what it's hungry for. Hungry, thirsty, our hair breathes. It doesn't breathe, but it's living. It's not living, it's dead. But we make it look healthy by conditioning it. But because everyone's texture and situation is unique, for example, in my case, my hair is naturally high porosity now, not naturally, but it is high porosity because I chemically treat my hair. I use bleach to make it lighter so I can shine like a sunflower. Now, my curls don't necessarily like the bleach, but I keep my hair healthy by deep conditioning it and treating it with what it needs. Now, let me give you another scenario. Because my hair is chemically processed and I've kind of worked away at the cuticle, in order for me to keep my hair strong, I need to fortify it with protein. So for me, I regularly cycle protein products into my routine to keep my hair healthy and strong, and here we are with happy curls nonetheless. Now let's spice up the scenario. I typically only wash and style my hair 1 to 2 times a week. So let's say I deep conditioned it 4 or 5 days ago, deeply conditioned it, and my hair still looks and feels okay, like it feels okay. I do my elasticity test and everything seems okay. I do not need to do another deep conditioner. But if my hair did feel really dry and was breaking, I would assess the situation and treat it as you would with a deep conditioner. Everyone's needs are going to be very different. As you are getting to know your hair, if you are new in your journey, you need to pay attention to what it needs. Maybe setting up a regular schedule where you are alternating and using multiple deep conditioners will benefit you. But if your hair is naturally soft, shiny, doesn't give you any problems, you don't need to deep condition very often. Maybe all you need is a little extra love from your regular conditioner, a little longer, and then every once in a blue moon you do a little self-care treatment and do a deep conditioner. Okay? Now keep all of that in mind because you do not want to condition your hair too much. Oh yeah, I said it and I meant it. You can actually over-condition the hair. There is such a thing as too much conditioner, okay? One thing that is very, 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 very important is that you actually read the label. Yeah, use what your mama gave you. I'm going to now speak for every brand that has created a product. Please use as directed, okay? If they're telling you to rinse thoroughly after 30 minutes, then do that. If you are not properly following the directions, then don't get mad if the outcome isn't as expected. You may have done everything right, treated your hair as it needed to be, but you went too hard. Sometimes we overdo it a little bit. We get a little crazy, thinking that this is good, this is gonna be even better. And then in the end, our results are not quite as expected. We went overboard. So now, to answer your question about the steps of deep conditioning, I do advise to wash your hair before deep conditioner so that it can really just absorb into your hair because no buildup is in the way. Again, I advise you to read the directions on the label. There are hundreds of thousands, that's a lot. There are many, there's a whole bunch of deep conditioners on the market. All kinds of different budgets. They're all unique and they all have different directions, so follow them. So after dampening your hair or drying it off a little bit, you're going to be applying your deep conditioner. Now again, keep in mind, every treatment is different, but most of these deep conditioners are formulated for the hairs. So you want to avoid putting them on your scalp. There are specific treatments for the scalp, which is skin, so you want to put skincare on your scalp and leave the hair care for the hairs. And then depending on how thick your hair is, you may want to section it off just so you can get a little bit more thorough. Always start with your ends. Well, not always, not if you're diffusing, but if you're putting on a deep conditioner, the driest parts of your hair are going to be your ends because they've been on your head the longest, they've been through the most amount of damage. So that's where you want to focus at first. And then as you work it through, work your way up. Try to stay off your roots, especially because those are typically healthier. They really don't need very much treatment. Once it's applied on, I like to detangle. And then depending on how long the mask is supposed to sit in, you can always twist your hair. Do simple 2-strand twists and then wrap it up and clip it away. And since you asked if you should use heat is absolutely not necessary when you're doing treatments. Sometimes it can help to soften the hair a little bit so it can absorb moisture in. But if you are using heat with a deep conditioner, Do not leave the deep conditioner on for as long. And many of the directions also usually state that if you're using heat, it should be on for a less amount of time. So it kind of accelerates the process, which if you're short on time, then that could be a good thing. Look, it's probably not going to kill your hair if your deep conditioner says to leave it in for 3 minutes and you leave it in a little longer, but there is a bit of a rule of thumb. I would advise not deep conditioning your hair for any longer than about 30 minutes. 30 minutes is usually the maximum that many deep conditioners state. There are some deep conditioners that do say you can go longer. Some advise you to work overnight. But here's the thing. If your hair spends a lot of time in moisture, if it is constantly hydrated and it is deeply hydrated, you're almost going to overfill the hair, which is going to swell the cuticle, which will then affect your porosity and your texture. And it will lead you to develop hygral fatigue. What the hell is that? To quickly explain, in a nutshell, hygral fatigue is damage done to the hair and the hair cuticle due to excessive moisture, deeply penetrating and going in and out of hair that is now very porous and swollen and extremely soft and gummy and with very poor elasticity. Because in the first place, you didn't actually need to deep condition. Or you probably really should not have deep conditioned for 48 hours when the hair mask you were using told you to leave it in for 30 minutes and rinse. If you are doing something you don't need to be doing or doing it wrong, you may not only be wasting your time and valuable goods, but you may also be making things worse for your hair. You see what I mean by doing too much? And if you guys have more questions about hygral fatigue, then leave them below and maybe I'll create a whole nother video about it. But let's get back to deep conditioning. So no, you should not leave a deep conditioner overnight unless it is stating that you should. In that case, follow the directions. And if then your hair has problems, well then you go after the brand. Now hold up. You might be a little bit confused because you're seeing other tutorials and some people are putting deep conditioners on dry hair instead of wet hair. So am I supposed to wash first and then put on damp hair? Or do I put it on dirty hair and then wash it out? What's the difference? Why would I do what? I mean, I feel like I sound like a broken record. But again, you want to follow what the label is advising you to do. There's a difference between a hair mask and a deep conditioner. Now, some deep conditioners might call themselves a mask, and a treatment may just be a conditioner. So it gets kind of confusing when all the names are different. But if you think about a mask, usually with your face, you wash it off after. There are some deep conditioners and some masks that are very heavy, and they may instruct you to use them before a shampoo because they are so heavy they need to be washed off after. Where if they are not washed off after, your hair may be weighed down. So with most deep conditioners, as they are directing you to rinse thoroughly when done, some people that may not need the extra conditioning or perhaps have much finer hair that is easily weighed down could use a very light little shampoo afterwards so that they didn't go overboard for their hair type. Also, something to keep in mind, if the treatment that you are using is very oil-based, you don't want to put it on soaking wet hair because oil and water repel each other. So do use your products on slightly dried hair or just squeeze out all the excess moisture before you put on the deep conditioner so that it maybe doesn't water down too much. I'm not a fan of putting products on dry hair because I just find it so much harder to work through the hair. It's much harder to evenly distribute, and besides, the most hydrating thing for our hair is water, and it's usually the first ingredient in many of our products. Savor it. Savor the goods. Oh, rad. Let's see what the next question is. Well, here comes the ingredient police. Many of you are very afraid of some ingredients being in your hair products, and what I have to say to that is you should probably just chill for a minute. When a brand is making a product, they have zero intention on harming your hair. So even though you're afraid to be using certain ingredients, they're likely in there to actually help you. So I know it's very confusing, and it's because you don't really understand the chemistry of what goes into it. And honestly, neither do I. I am not a chemist, and I also just like to trust brands to take care of all the formulating. I really have no idea what it takes to put a product together, but luckily I do. Hi there, I'm Scientific Mell, bringing you the nitty-gritty scientific of all things hair. Today we're going to get a little into chemistry really quickly. There are ingredients in products for a reason, and I would have to say that approximately 90% of all deep conditioners have the same 5 ingredients to start. Number 1, you're going to find aqua, water, purified, distilled. However, aqua, water is going to be the number 1 ingredient you want to see. Water equals hydration. Moving down the line, and in no particular order, you're gonna find cetyl alcohol. Now, we're not trying to get your hair drunk. Cetyl alcohol is going to be a very common ingredient found in your conditioners because it is actually an emulsifier. It's going to help you work that product, distribute it through your hair. You may also see cetyl alcohol, which doesn't have the same role as cetyl alcohol, but cetyl alcohol is actually just another conditioning agent. As well as you're probably going to see conditioning oils and butters such as coconut oil, shea butter. These are very common and popular ones, and many deep conditioners have many fancy oils that they like to put in their conditioners like fig, jojoba, avocado. I'm just kidding. Many of these oils are used in the product to help lock in the moisture. Remember, oils are emollients. Now there's also humectants that we find in deep conditioners. An ingredient you may also find high up in your list is glycerin. Glycerin as a humectant helps to draw moisture into your hair. So if your hair is very dry, it is going to bring the moisture in there like magic. Except it's not magic, it's science. Now, some other emollients you may find in your conditioners may be silicones. Those silicones. Now, before you ask, a silicone may be placed in your deep conditioner because it is actually helping to improve manageability of your hair. The very dry cuticle attracts oils to its center, and the very small refined silicones that you are finding in your ingredients are like oils to the hair. So they're gonna suck them up just like that, and they can help to give your hair strength as well as lots of shine. Now we have a lot of moisturizing ingredients in the list here, and we want to be able to balance that all out. So what do we do to balance out moisture? Yeah! Yes, yeah! We need protein. Gotta eat the meat. I don't care if it's Beyond Meat or it's vegetable protein. We gotta have protein in here. So, you want to be looking out for hydrolyzed protein. There are many hydrolyzed proteins derived from vegetables that we can find in products, as well as silk proteins, collagen. Ingredients like these are going to help strengthen the hair. That way you're getting a balance of protein and moisture. The protein is going to help to strengthen your hair so you can actually close the cuticle and lock in that moisture that you are feeding it. And of course the moisture is moisturizing. Back to you, Mel. Okay, honestly, Scientific Mell, I could not have said that better myself. Thank you for explaining. By the way, I loved your shirt. I see you, girl. I see you. Anywho's, I think that's all the questions we have for today, except, oh wait, there's one more coming in. This one's from YouTube. This may seem like a silly question, and many of you may be asking the same thing, which is, do you condition before a deep conditioner? And what I say is, save the product, go straight to the deep conditioner, because otherwise it's going to be redundant. You do not need to condition twice. If you're deeply conditioning, deeply condition. If you're regularly conditioning, do whatever. Just remember to follow the instructions and to trust the ingredients that are in the products. I'm sure it's going to be great, but really listen to what your hair is telling you. And that is how I keep these curls in tip-top shape. I hope that answers all of your questions. I hope you guys learned a few things today. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you know someone that really needs the deep condition, make sure you share it with that friend. And if you like this t-shirt, Guys, this is my baby. It's me on a freaking shirt. You can get it if you like this design. There's much more merch by Mell coming. Just click the link below. This has been yet another informative Q&A with Mains by Mell, and I am out. Okay. Bring it back now, y'all. Bring it. Bring it back. Take it easy. Is my hair okay? Poppin'. 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 Pop, 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 pop. We gotta stay hydrated, and our hair does too. Conditioner. Are you ready? Let's dive in.